everyone.
Welcome back to the Tell All Walk.
Tell All Walk. Tell All Bench, Court and Jen.
So if people say my outfit doesn't match,
it's
you
cute.
can go to hell.
So where have we been?
We've been
Oh,
to New York. I have.
yep.
I have.
And
you've been to Ohio.
yes, Columbus, Ohio, right? So Court and Jen have been traveling for work.
For real work. Not fun work.
Yeah, for real work. And that just kind of got in the way of our creativity.
I have some more life updates too.
And you'll see us stopping. Look, we're just like chatterbugs. Chatterbugs. We're walking the dogs. So this is a little challenging. We got 3 dogs.
3.
That you are going to walk with us through the journey of walking dogs, mosquitoes at play.
I just got fucking mad.
Okay, we got to keep walking faster so we can get...
Oh yeah, we need a speed walk and talk at this rate. Do you
So,
have any specific topics for today, or are we just updating?
so we decided to just catch up on our walk here of what's kind of going on. But one thing we're encountering is mosquitoes. So you're hearing, come on, Luca.
Dude, and I literally asked her, I said, should we bring mosquito? Mosquito. Oh my god! Whatever, bug spray. And she's like, no, I haven't needed it.
I haven't
Bitch.
needed it walking, but we will
I'm the
now.
magnet, I'm telling you. What I want to talk about is work. How has life... Look at Luca way over there. Come on, buddy. How has work been for you?
Work has been busy.
Is that the main source of your busyness?
Yes, that is the main source of my business.
Fair.
But I've worked in a little bit of fun here and there. I did a little golf outing.
She did do a golf outing.
My
She
first ever
fucked up her arm.
first ever golf tournament. So that was super fun doing a scramble. Why don't women golf? It's a lot of fun. We should do it more. But that's me. What have you been up to with your work?
Oh gosh. Well, my work, I already mentioned, bridal season is always a little bit more of a chaos sort of thing. Maddie's trying to eat bees again this year. So I was distracted. But yeah, so bridal season, hair extensions, teaching. I went to New York for a class, which we're spinning here. That travel day was a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. I will say, there's certain airlines you should do your research on because they suck. And they made me miss my fucking flight.
So I want to talk about that from a generational thing. This is what I wanted to talk about with our
Like the
travels.
work stuff?
With our travels.
Oh.
Okay, my travel experience, I get in my little seat, and there's the great debate on who owns the window. If I'm on the aisle, and and someone's on the window, who owns whether that goes up and down? And was it a generational thing I encountered, or the actual who has the right? So my situation was, I'm on the aisle, girl's on the window, we get seated, and she immediately slams the window closed and puts up her hoodie. And she was a younger generation.
See, I'm under the impression that you have to pay to pick your seats if you want the window. Because technically, oh, monarch! Wait, it's actually so pretty. They're going to get the milkweeds. Anyways, I have a pea brain. But no, I feel like if you get the window seat, you get to choose the window.
You get to control the window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is that a behavioral thing or just because here's my thinking. Even when I have the window, I always ask the person or persons, sometimes if there's 3 in a row, their preference.
Oh, I would never do that. If If I have the window seat, I'm having it open regardless of what you want.
So when you're on the aisle,
I just know that I don't get the window.
you just forego, I don't have a say in the window.
Yeah. When I was not on the window seat, I've never had anyone ask me at all. So I do think that's just like a you thing, like a personality thing.
That I'm just kind.
I guess. You're considerate, apparently, because I would not ask.
Because I was like...
Because have you ever been asked?
Yes.
Oh.
So I think that's how I kind of...
Pre-COVID or post-COVID?
Pre.
I also think that has to do with something.
Okay, so that's another thing too, right? Like traveling pre and post COVID.
Very different things.
Yeah.
Except for I don't actually have experience in that because I didn't travel until COVID already had happened.
Okay. So my funny on that was I knew when COVID was going on that I did not belong on an airplane. Do you remember on the news everybody getting in fights on the airplane?
Not really. I've never really watched
Like,
the news.
put your mask on and did it.
Oh.
Right. And water bottles being thrown at each
Water
other
bottles being thrown.
on the airplanes.
Okay, that seems a little chaotic.
Fisticuffs because you reclined your seat and it hit my table. Blah blah blah. I was like, I am a, fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going in to help try and neutralize the situation.
Yeah.
And I know I would have gotten walloped, right? So I just knew, don't get on an airplane.
True.
So, honestly, these have been some of my first post-COVID flights, and that's what they have been. Where little Missy, who owned the window seat, didn't care about anybody else, slams that window thing, and
But also, it could just be like because of COVID, that socialization really took a hit. Because also, I don't have the experience of flying pre-COVID, so maybe pre-COVID people did care if you wanted the window open or not.
oh, fascinating. That was the only thing
Do you prefer the window seat then?
No, I'm an aisle girl.
But yet you care about the window!
I'm an aisle
See, I
because
think-
I want to see forward
See, I think that's just a you problem.
and out.
I think you need to figure out if you want to be a window girly, if you want opinions of the window.
A conversation that others were having about flying, and that flying used to be a privilege
Yes.
for the wealthy, right? Like they could afford to pay X number for a flight and be there in hours, where others would have to travel in a car for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Now it's become an expectation that anybody hops, and convenient, anybody can hop on an airplane, right?
Yeah.
So between the generations, just that had occurred in a privilege to an expectation, just a standard way of commuting.
Yes.
So your expectations that I should pay for a ticket and my luggage should be where I want.
Yeah. Obviously, if I didn't pay to check my bag, then why the fuck did I have to check it?
is funny to me, right?
I mean, if they would have charged us to check our bags, I would have been like, you're joking.
Yeah. Then I would have okay, this is absolutely not okay. So
Anybody.
So I agree, and the traveling on an airplane has gotten so much more complicated.
Right?
With the weather, the turbulences, lessons learned, right?
It is weird too, because depending on the airport, they need to scan your ticket before you even check your bags or whatever. What's that? Go through the security, and then other airports, they literally just have to see your ID. So I'm like, where does that come into play as well?
Yeah.
How come everything's so different?
Yeah, I noticed that it had changed between pre-COVID and post-COVID. It just on the ID thing, I don't have to show. And then you still have the old generation who I'm gonna laugh, who print their physical ticket.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's not even just the old generation, though, unless the old generation prints it for the younger generation.
I think that shit is so funny. Like it with the times. I was actually kind of hoping you'd say, I printed my ticket so I could make fun of her with that. It's kind of interesting because my flight travel, I had to go into Chicago and then hop to Columbus. And the flight from where we are to Chicago is so short that I actually spent more time taxiing on the tarmac in O'Hare than the actual flight time that it took, right? So there's that factor too of
Just giving you a hug real fast.
there's that factor too of, is travel really even worth it?
Dude.
Because I'm considering driving the next time if I have to go to Ohio to avoid the 3-4 hour layovers.
I was
and
gonna
crap.
say, the only way that I ever want to travel is fucking direct.
Yeah.
Because then you show up to the airport 1 to 2 hours early.
Yep.
3 if you're crazy. And yeah, get there and then can't come back.
Yep.
Because, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's
Both times I had a layover this last trip, horrible.
and it's always the worst when you're wanting to come back.
Yes.
You just want to get home. So to sum this up, travel
It's horrible, obviously.
travel was a challenge for us. It kind of drained us, kind of took our creativity
And you want to know what else I was dealing with?
right out. We going straight?
Mortgage.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, you want to know what else I've been doing with my life? Getting married.
Well,
Planning
you're
a wedding.
planning a wedding. Yep.
Planning a wedding. Buying a house. Working. Shooting myself? No, just kidding.
Okay,
Dealing
go,
with
go,
a
go.
lot. So I feel
Am
like
I
I'm
editing
not
that? Am I
time.
editing that out?
No.
What?
No.
All right. We'll see about that. Something tells me I'm gonna have to edit this whole thing because, wow.
Oh yeah, I can't say that.
I just didn't know if you
But I'm
wanted to
trying
say
to buy a house.
that you're trying to buy a house. Yeah, you can say that. That's a
I'm-
process.
It is a fucking process, like way more than I thought. Like, can we also talk about the freaking home market industry, because it's crazy out here. Like, also, let's just say like pricing equivalents.
We're gonna go this way and go back.
There was a Luca. There was a house on the market that was like $425, okay?
Yep.
And then there's another house that's on the market for $425. And they are just like polar freaking opposites. And I'm just like, how can that be $425? And then this is $425. So that's something interesting. I'm like, you need to have a realtor or somebody to go with you to these things to point out problems that you wouldn't necessarily think are like foundational issues. Because also in pictures, it can look freaking amazing. It can look massive. The way that you take photos and like you can use AI and whatever. Don't trust that shit. Just don't. Because we saw a house that was $425 and it should have probably been going for like $200. Not even. Because you would have to destroy that shit and start over. Like,
Yeah.
foundationally.
I mean, they always used to show, pictures, internal photos, but then with the post or the COVID,
Yeah.
they started doing those 3D tours.
Oh, yep.
But could you imagine buying a house based upon a video?
Hell no.
And that was before kind of AI. So now you have to see the in person. Otherwise, you don't know what you are actually getting.
Exactly. I'm like, imagine not having a person to tell you, like, make sure you look at the foundation of the house. Like, is it caving in? Like, how can I tell that? I don't know.
Right. But that's,
Especially like going from living in apartments to trying to buy a house. It's like you don't know what to look for because you don't know what's wrong.
right.
Like, you don't have to pay attention to the basement in an apartment.
Right. But all that stuff, that's why you have an inspection to be able to.
And that's the other thing. People will try to get you to compromise on that. Just don't. Yeah.
Just get the house inspected. If you can't get the house because they don't want you to get an inspection, that's a red flag, and just don't get the house.
Yep.
Seriously.
Okay, so on that house topic, so switching episodes, we're going to house.
Don't be blowing that shit at me.
A mosquito, not biting me. I was listening to a podcast that was talking about finances for Gen Z. I was like, oh, I'm clearly not Gen Z, but let's listen to this.
The kids are.
And everything that was shared on there, and let me tell you, this podcast guest, we're not talking minor leagues, we're talking with Oprah Winfrey.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm like, oh, this is going to be juicy and good, content rich. And I was like,
come on, Maddie.
this is all the stuff that you and I have talked about on the tell-all bench at the dog park.
Really?
Basic stuff about debt, interest rates, credit card debt, student loan debt. So I found it fascinating. I'm like, see, average people like us have knowledge, and it just all doesn't always have to come from our, let's go left, our celebrities who have written books on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, this knowledge is all around you, but why do we
But I think that goes back to, and sorry for interrupting, but I think it goes back to that topic of how generations don't want to talk to each other or feel like they can't, because a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to be so honest, like I talked about this before, but like my mom isn't super open with the whole like talking about financials and stuff, but I'm a person that just keeps asking questions and then I'll get the answer eventually. But people in my generation think that's like annoying and crazy to like ask so many questions. But I'm like, how are you learning then? Because that's why you're in so much debt. That's why you can't do these things, because you're not trying to figure out how to best do them, I guess, is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and I do think that there's something like you all can read whatever you want, wherever you want, right? To get information, but being able to talk to somebody you know and trust and get their thoughts on it validates or denies what you've studied on your own.
Well, that too, because I feel like you can get this info from online, right? But if it's somebody that lives in Florida versus somebody that lives here, those are two different answers. And if you're going based off, okay, this person in Florida or this person in Europe does this, that does not mean that that's going to be equal to what you need to do here. Like, I feel like a lot of it is like, also being in the hairstyling world versus being at a desk job. Like, those are two different things as well. So I feel like you need to know who you're talking to or who you're reading from. Are you reading a billionaire, or are you reading somebody that's like a 9-to-5 making $600,000 or $60,000 a year? Because this advice is not going to be the same, most likely.
Right. So like my whole point of it was this great advice that was, look at all these bunnies. This great advice that was being given.
Oh my God.
I was like, well, it's pretty average advice that I guess a lot of people have and could impart on younger generations. So why isn't it being heard? I don't know. It was interesting. But at the same time, one thing that I did learn, so this is why you have to have an open mind. I'm obviously not Gen Z, but I was listening to a podcast on everything financial Gen Z needs to know. I learned, what is the average age of a first-time home buyer?
31.
Higher.
36.
Higher.
50.
Lower. 38.
Oh, I was kind of close.
Yeah, you're kind of close. 38 years old. So back when I was first-time home buyer, Gen X, our average age was mid-20s.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting, and the big things that were behind it was
is school debt. School debt, and then the big discussion on whether or not you should go to school and incur that debt, right, is the next topic. But the point that they were making is that some people go to school, college, to get a job, and other go to school, college to learn.
Yeah.
And so the perspective on why go to college. But it's still hands down that they're saying education is something that you cannot be taken away from you.
It's also crazy to me though how much that has changed. Of like, it was just normal for a 20-something-year-old to buy a house, and now it's like, that is such a huge accomplishment.
Yes.
Like, good for you. How are you doing it?
Yep.
Because there are so many older than I people that aren't doing that. And that's what I always say is like, that's not what I want out of my life, and I'm going to work my ass off to save and stuff. But that's just only goes so far as well. So I don't know.
Yep. And it totally is talked about the goals setting.
Yeah.
And the saving of that, the long-term game, the compounding of money, all very real, practical.
Yeah.
But one thing that I found was interesting. Let's talk about work-life balance, and what does that term mean to you?
Me specifically?
Yep.
I have a really bad work-life balance, to be completely honest. I feel like my work brain is going all the time. And maybe I should say, it is partially due to communications that are going on between like the team and then my clients and I, and then also trying to keep up with social media. So to me, I feel like I don't have a good work-life balance. That's something that I wanted to try to do better this year, and it's not. But I think work-life balance, in my opinion, would be when you're at work, you're working. When you're home, you're doing things like spending time with family, your friends, your spouse, your dog, relaxing, doing things that you want to do. But that's just me. I don't know. What about you?
I mean, that's the classic definition, but what they were saying is that work-life balance right out of college for the young generation, that's not realistic. So those expectations that they have of, I want work-life balance and it's my first job, and that means I only want to work 9 to 5.
So I'm not off base again, so that's good.
The people that were talking about this were like, no, when you're younger, you're working longer hours, paying it forward so that you earn the balance later in your life.
Girl, that's literally what I say all the time. I'm like, I'm working my ass off now, so hopefully I don't have to in the future. Like that balance will come to me at some point. Because I feel like people are always like, I feel like the people that are looking out for me, I should say, are always like, well, why do you work so much? Or why are you always here? Like, some weeks I work, like actually work 6 days a week, and people are like, well, that's crazy. Why are you doing that? And I'm like, well, I'm just trying to like do it now so I don't have to do it later. But then people will be like, well, you also have to have experiences. And I'm like, okay, yes. But I'm like, I want to work my ass off now, so again, that I don't have to do it when I hopefully can afford these experiences.
Yeah, so that you work more now, save that money, let it compound, and invest and work for you.
Yes.
Right? Because then your life phase changes.
Yeah. And I always say I feel like my 30s will be the happiest of my life, because I'm like, I hope I can afford like fun, and even if that affording fun is literally sitting at home in a beautiful house with my family, like I want to be able to do that without like stressing that, oh my god, I'm not at work making money.
Yeah,
that's just me. Does your arm need a break, or are you good?
I'm good.
Okay,
so far.
Let's
go lefty loosey, Luca here, wherever he is. Oh, he's behind me now.
He's a pain in the ass. That's what he is.
This dog, I don't know if y'all have one. He thinks
water
he has to pee. Here you go.
on everything and everyone. And if you peed on the surface, he'll pee on it again.
So there's our catch-up episode. Welcome back.
Are we
We're
done?
back. Yes.
Okay, bye. Wait, if you don't go, you won't know. So go on a fucking walk, bitch. Bye.